Welcome back to Monday Mukbang, and you're stuck with me again. I'm Jessica. Howdy. Today I'm eating ice cream. I am filming this actually right after last week's mukbang, so yeah, I literally just finished lunch. But I'm gonna be eating some of this So Delicious dairy-free, no sugar added ice cream. I'm not gonna be eating a lot of this, to be honest with you, so I'm gonna be talking more than eating in today's mukbang. So if you don't like that in a mukbang, I'm sorry. It's just how it's gonna be. I've already eaten my lunch. Like, I literally just finished my lunch, got these out of the freezer, let them melt just a little bit, and now I'm gonna be filming. So let's talk about the ice cream real quick. This is the So Delicious. You've seen us do So Delicious ice creams before on our channel. We've done taste test videos. We've tried a bunch of different flavors. It's very good. It's actually one of John's favorite ice creams, point blank, period, end of story. It doesn't matter if it's dairy, non-dairy, whatever. John's favorite ice cream is So Delicious. It's the coconut chocolate, right? John's right off screen.
Yes.
Yeah, the coconut milk chocolate flavor is like his favorite ice cream, period. We do enjoy it. I also enjoy a lot of other non-dairy ice creams. In fact, I would say that non-dairy ice cream is probably more my favorite ice creams than dairy ice creams. But we're talking about these ones today. These are the no sugar added. So there is sweetener in these. This uses erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, and monk fruit extract. So I will put a link to these in the description bar down below if you're curious. I have already opened this one. This is the butter pecan. You can see I've eaten a little bit out of there. So these are not a low calorie meal in any way, shape, or form. They're not low calorie, but they are lower carb because they don't have sugar in them. They're just, this one I think is the same, erythritol and monk fruit. Yeah. And then they're made with coconut milk, which is, in my opinion, sweet anyway. I haven't even opened this one yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this one. This one is just vanilla bean. So, I mean, just the flavor of vanilla to me is sweet, and coconut milk I think is sweet. I don't know about you guys, but I think coconut milk is sweet. So, that's good. Does anybody else lick the paper off the top of their ice cream? I do. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Anyway, I'm going to be eating a little bit of this ice cream, and I'm going to be talking with you about how I lost my weight. So I've lost since, I think I've talked about it before on this channel. I don't know how detailed I've gotten. We've kind of touched on it, I think, in a couple of different mukbangs, but I haven't really gotten into really detail on how I lost my weight. So this is actually a shirt that I've had for a while. So I used to wear this shirt when I was at my top of my weight. So I don't know, you can't really see it very well from, you know, my waist up, but I am going to try to find a picture of me maybe in a past mukbang or a past taste test wearing this shirt. If I can find it, I will put the picture right in here. If I didn't find it, I'm sorry, but I will try to find a picture of me in this shirt at my top weight. I'm gonna be honest. I started out at like 278. Did you guys know I was that heavy? I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you thought I was heavier. I don't know. But I started out at my official starting weight that I'm having in my mind is 278 at the end of May of 2017. So, I mean, and it was like the end of May. So I'm just going to say it was June because it was like the last week in May. So 278, June of 2017. That's really good. I was actually diagnosed as diabetic, type 2 diabetic, in April. I think it was April of 2017. I went to the doctor And the doctor's like, take pills, and gave me a prescription for pills. I mean, she didn't give me the prescription, right? They don't actually give you a paper prescription anymore. They just do it electronically. I think I like the butter pecan better. The butter pecan is harder and it's higher in calorie. Let's see. They're the same as far as carbs go, but the butter pecan is higher in calorie. But my doctor just gave me pills and sent me on my way. And I'm like, I don't want to take pills. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like taking pills. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. I don't like how some pills make me feel. So, my nose is itchy, I'm sorry. So my goal was to change my diet and lose some weight, because type 2 diabetes oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes is a weight-related disease. Again, not all the time. I've read some different things where there's like super skinny people who are diabetic, type 2 diabetic. So it's not always weight related, but oftentimes it is. So I decided that I was going to totally overhaul my diet and get healthier. And I did get a blood sugar meter from my dietitian. I started going to see a dietitian, and that's where I'm counting my starting weight is 278. That's the weight that she took me at when I went to see her for the first time last year. Did I say 2017? I meant 2018. I think I said 2017. I meant 2018. Anyway, she gave me a blood sugar monitor, and you know, last summer, if you guys remember, if you've been around that long, we went on a vacation for 2 weeks. We went to Hawaii for a week, and we went to San Diego for a week. And that was the last week in June, first week in July. So even though I was diagnosed in April, I went to see the dietitian in May. I still pretty much was eating whatever I wanted to up until our vacation, because I was like, okay, you know, I want to enjoy my vacation. I'm going to eat everything that Hawaii has to offer. I've been to San Diego before, but I'd never been to Hawaii before. So I was like, you know, screw it. I've been eating this way for, you know, 38, 39 years. I am going to just eat whatever I want to. I'm going to enjoy Hawaii. I'll worry about changing my diet when I get back. Like, I had started a little bit already. The vanilla flavor is sweeter, just in case you're wondering. Did I just say the butter pecan was sweeter? The vanilla flavor is sweeter than the butter pecan. But I think that's why I like the butter pecan better, because it's not quite as sweet. I like the nutty flavor of the pecan. So anyway, we went on vacation. We got back a couple of days after the 4th of July. It was like the first week in July that we got back. And I started my diet. Now I will tell you that I probably lost, between the end of May, so the beginning of June, and the second week in July when we got back from vacation, I probably lost about 5 pounds, just because I had already started cutting back on sugar. During my vacation I ate sugar, but I had already started cutting back on sugar prior to my vacation. So I probably lost somewhere around 5 to 10 pounds. So I was probably right around 270 in July when I really started overhauling my diet. And I've gotten some comments from you guys about reading Dr. Bernard's book, which I actually do have. Would you mind going and getting that for me? So I just asked John to actually go get those books for me. They're in my bedroom. My dad, when I told him I was diabetic, he got me these books because he is also pre-diabetic. His doctor has diagnosed him as pre-diabetic, and his doctor looked at him and said, Whole Foods. He didn't say go fully vegan or vegetarian or anything. He just said Whole Foods. So my dad bought these books for himself, and he bought me a copy of both as well when I was diagnosed. My beautiful assistant here is going to give me my books. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 3. I thought there was only 2, but there's 3. So this first one is, what does it say? It's a 21-day weight loss kickstart. And then I've got the program for reversing diabetes. And then this one for the cookbook for reversing diabetes. So like these two, the top 2, the second 2 kind of go hand in hand. And like I said, my dad got these for me. He bought them off of Amazon. So primarily what I've been trying to do, and I'll tell you how much I weigh now in a minute, but primarily what I've been trying to do is really cut out sugars. I know that the large majority of the vegan community is very much high carb, low fat. For me, that wasn't working. So I have really been sticking to a high fat, low carb diet. Honestly, we've been having a real slowdown in our growth. We hit 1,000 subscribers just after our 2nd anniversary. We are about to hit our 3rd anniversary. We started in March. We started this channel in March of 2016. So March of 2019, we're going to be hitting 3 years. I forget, it was like mid-March. To be honest, over the last year, we've only gotten about 200 subscribers. Now, some of them are new and we've lost some of our older subscribers. Some of you guys have been here like the entire time. So thank you for sticking around with us. I know that we've gotten some of you guys that were commenting on our videos 3 years ago who are still with us. So thank you so much for sticking with us. But for me, I had to cut out sugar, which meant I had to find sugar alternatives. Not necessarily the healthiest. Like I'll drink diet soda that has aspartame in it, which is a chemical which I know can cause cancer in mice. I know that. I know it. But I have a huge sweet tooth. Like every tooth in my mouth is a sweet tooth. So if I cut out sugar, I need to be able to eat something sweet. So I do that. There's monk fruit in these. Erythritol. It's a sugar alcohol. Stevia, which is from a plant. Allulose, which is a newer sugar alternative. It's actually considered a sugar by the FDA because of its molecular makeup. It's derived from vegetables. It's derived from like potatoes and sweet peas and that sort of thing. So it's derived from vegetables. That's probably my favorite sweetener that I have found. That when I make homemade desserts, I use that. But I still really have a sweet tooth. But the key thing that I had to do was not give up my sweets entirely, because if I had given up sweets entirely, I would have been miserable. Absolutely 100% miserable, because I love sweets. So I found alternatives. Like I said, this is an alternative. It is a sugar-free ice cream that's dairy-free. I do watch my calories as well. I never did before. I would just eat whatever and eat when I was hungry and finish when I was full, but I didn't really care where I was getting my calories from. So I would eat sweets a lot of the time. I'd eat sweets. It's also my way to deal with stress. If I was having a really stressful day, I would eat a couple of pieces of candy. Like not like a whole candy bar, but like the miniature candies. And some people can do that. You know, I have a friend who is skinny as a stick. Like she is super, super skinny. And, you know, we've spent time together over the years, and she can eat like 4 times the amount of food that I can. And she can put it away, like super, like eat, right? I would eat 1/4 of what she would eat and I'd be full, but she can eat. And she's still super skinny. But I'll eat sweets, you know? So sweet food has a tendency to be higher calorie than like non-sweet food. So there's that. But I've been eating this way. It's February right now. I'm filming it at the end of February. It's not going to post until March, but so I've been doing this, let's say, since the beginning of July, and I was around 275 at the beginning of July. So that's about 8 months. The holidays were rough for me. I didn't eat the best during the holidays, let's be honest. So I actually didn't lose any weight from the day before Christmas until last week. I had actually gone up with weight, and then I finally came back down. So actually, because of how I ate over Christmas and New Year's, I think I had gained like 7 or 8 pounds. And I actually allowed myself to eat sugar on Christmas and everything. So it ended up taking me about 6 weeks to lose that. I mean, I went up and down. Like I went up 7 or 8 pounds, and then I would go down a couple of pounds, and then go up a pound, then go down a couple of pounds, then go up a pound. I ended up getting back to my lowest weight last week, which was the day before Christmas as well. And I'm at 213 right now. A lot of you guys would probably be like, that is huge still. I agree. It's still overweight. I think I'm still considered obese at 213. Yeah, I think I'm still considered obese at 213, but I've lost over 60 pounds in 8 months. I actually lost over 60 pounds in 6 months. And then it took me 2 months to get back to where I was after eating Christmas. Like I said, it wasn't like that I've been that 7 or 8 pounds up the whole January and February. I would go down a couple and then go up one, and then go down a couple and then go up one. So there's that. But I would say that mostly what has caused the biggest change for me to lose the 60 pounds, and I'm still losing. I mean, my goal is to get to about 150. Somewhere between 150 and 160. So I still have 60 pounds more to lose. When all is said and done, I will be down about 125 pounds. 120 to 125. And 150 is a healthy weight. I think for my height in America, the charts for healthy weight for my height, I'm 5'9". I think it's from 145 to like 170 is like the considered the healthy weight. So if I get somewhere between 150 and 160, I'll be happy. That's my goal. And I'm doing that really through watching calories. I typically will eat somewhere between 1,200 and 1,500 calories a day. Like, I'm eating this ice cream. I actually weighed the containers before I started the camera, and I put them down on like a note on my phone. When I turn the camera off, I'm going to weigh them again so I can know exactly how much I ate of each of the ice creams. Because I do track my calories. I track my calories. I count. I'm not super strict on my macronutrient counting. So I'm not like full-blown keto. Like if you listen to keto, they're like, oh, you can only eat 20 grams of carbs and you can eat this and you can eat that. I'm not super strict like that. I more am watching my calories, and then I'm just watching the sugars that I eat, if that makes sense. Am I leaning in the low-carb keto range? Probably. I usually target around 30 grams of carbs per day. That's kind of what I look at. Some days I go over. Like this here. Now I haven't eaten a quarter of this. I don't know. I'm not done yet, but I haven't eaten a quarter of either one of these yet. So I'm probably going to be around 1 serving total. Which is going to be like 4 or 5 carbs, maybe 6 carbs, depending on how much I end up eating of each. And like I said, I'm planning, I try to stick around 30 net carbs, but I don't count them throughout the day, if that makes sense. I have like mental note in my head of kind of where I'm at, but I'm not like really strict with it. So I wouldn't say I'm like super duper keto, which I know is kind of a bad word in the vegan community, but you can be keto and vegan at the same time. You can eat low carb foods on a vegan diet. But I'm not super strict with that. I usually try to stick with my calories. That's where I really watch. And then I really try to watch the sugars that I'm eating as well. I'm not done yet. My goal is by the end of 2019 that I will hit my goal weight. If I hit 160 by the end of 2019, I will be happy. Now, has that cured me of diabetes? No. I know what foods do raise my blood sugar a little bit more. I do test on myself. I know that I can eat potatoes. I know that they don't raise my blood sugar. I know that I can eat a limited amount of bread, but that doesn't raise my blood sugar. But if I eat real sugar, that will spike it. I also know that there's some other stuff, like there's some, they're not vegan desserts, but they are vegetarian desserts where they have like a dairy product in them, but they aren't fully vegan. But they don't have like any other meat products other than like a dairy. But I have some other desserts that are made with non-sugar sweeteners, and some of those will spike my blood sugar as well if I eat too many of them. But I really just try to keep my blood sugar within a normal level, which I've been successful in doing. I'm actually off of medication. I stopped using medication, I think it was the beginning of December in 2018. It might have been a little bit earlier than that, November. I was having some not really great side effects. So I did stop using medicine, and I've been able to diet control my diabetes. But I think it's kind of ironic that I'm eating ice cream and talking about weight loss, but I'm doing that on purpose, because if you're trying to lose weight, I'm purposely eating ice cream to kind of put across that you can fit ice cream into a diet. I do. I eat ice cream. I'm eating it right now. Like I said, I've probably eaten about a serving of ice cream, about a quarter cup. Between the two of them, I've probably eaten about a quarter cup, maybe a little bit more. And you can fit this into your diet. You can fit other desserts into your diet. I have a couple of desserts that are made from monk fruit that are vegan. Lakanto or Lakanta, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but it's either Lakanta or Lakanto. They have vegan desserts that you can make. Like they have like a hot chocolate. They've got like a brownie mix. They've got a pancake mix, which we tried. I wasn't real fond of the pancake mix, but they are vegan and they are sweetened with monk fruit. So there's that. But yeah, you can definitely get desserts into a diet. My biggest thing is that I just watch my calories. So I skipped breakfast this morning, which I really shouldn't do. My dietitian is like, you really need to eat breakfast, Jessica. And breakfast was never like my favorite meal of the day anyway, but she does tell me I should eat breakfast, so I do try. And then, so like today, I knew I was going to be eating ice cream and filming this mukbang, so I purposely skipped breakfast because I'm going to end up eating about the number of calories that I would have eaten in my breakfast with this mukbang. So anyway, I guess what I'm really trying to say is if you decide to do it, it's possible. And you know, John and I were just talking yesterday or the day before, and I think it was Friday, and he was saying, you know, it's not easy to completely overhaul your diet. Most people get into a routine and they eat the same things and they don't change. But it's difficult to do that. And I would say that it's not only with the sugar, but vegans do that too. You know, most vegans weren't born and raised vegan. They were raised on a standard American diet, if we're talking American diet. Wherever you're at, if you're in another country, I'm sure you have, you know, a standard diet in the way you guys eat as well. But most vegans are raised on a standard American diet, and then they have to consciously make the decision to change. And it's not easy. Now, personally, I had a reason to change. I got diagnosed with a medical condition that I could change with my diet. Now, I was talking to my dietitian last week. I had an appointment, and she was like, just, you know, Jessica, keep in mind that you're able to manage your diabetes with diet right now, but because you're predisposed genetically, I had great aunts. My dad's pre-diabetic. I had my grandfather on my mom's side was diabetic before he passed away. So I have like predisposition for diabetes on both sides of my family. And my dietitian was like, you know, you are genetically predisposed to diabetes, and there might come a time in your life that you can't manage it with diet. So I know that. But I did have the impetus of a medical diagnosis to push me to change my diet. But a lot of people choose not to. And I think of any other community, the vegan community probably knows that more so than anybody else. Because say you decide to go keto. Keto is not that hard. You're not really changing everything. You're just letting go of pasta. Now, if you're Italian like I am, that might not be the easiest thing to do. But you can eat a keto diet without changing too much. Pretty much you can go to a restaurant and eat keto. At almost any restaurant, you can find a keto diet or a low carb diet. Not every restaurant. There's some that it's a challenge. But I found that it was a lot more difficult to eat at a restaurant vegan than low carb, if that makes sense. So basically where I'm going with that is I want to commend everybody who's on the vegan diet. I know that there is a lot of backlash against the vegans every once in a while. I know that recently here there's been a lot of people who have left the vegan community. And like I said, I've never been full-blown vegan. No one in my family has. Our channel is Omnis Vegan. We try vegan foods. We have an open mind to the vegan lifestyle. It's just not something that we've ever transitioned into. And we do get that question. Even till today, we get the question, have you guys gone vegan yet? And we have not. We have not. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that we have. But we are open to eating more vegan foods. And one of the things that I really like about the vegan community is, for the most part, most of the people that I've found have been very accepting with, well, do what you can. If you can't be perfect, do what you can. So if you can eat vegan 2 days a week, that's at least something. And I really appreciate people who have that mentality. I think it's really great. But to completely change your diet is, like John said the other day, not an easy thing. And I when he said that to me, I was just like, what do you mean it's not easy? I just changed my diet. It's not that big a deal. But as I thought about it for the last couple of days, he's right. You know, I had a medical diagnosis that scared me to the point that I changed. A lot of people don't. It's easy to do what you've always known, if that makes sense. So to completely change your diet to a vegan diet is admirable, absolutely. like I said, it's not something that me and my family have done. We will eat vegan foods. The only yogurt I eat anymore is vegan. I used to love, yogurt in general, but the only yogurt I eat anymore is vegan. Vegan ice cream. I eat a lot more whole foods. Even like before my diagnoses, when I was eating a vegetarian diet, which I was actually 100% vegetarian in the early part of 2018. For like the first 4 or 5 months of 2018, I was vegetarian, strict vegetarian. I still ate a bunch of pasta and bread, and I love those foods. I love them. I'm planning on my 40th birthday, which is coming up in a couple weeks. I am going on a pasta binge, and I already told my dietitian, I already told my doctor, I said for that one day, I'm gonna eat as much pasta as I want. I'm gonna eat as much bread as I want. That day is my birthday. Gosh darn it, I'm only turning 40 once. That's how I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm gonna eat a ton of bread and pasta and everything. And my dietitian's like, you know what? That's okay. It's okay. So anyway, I'm gonna stop eating. I could probably talk all day. I could finish these ice creams if I sat here long enough and just kept eating. If you're looking for an ice cream that's a little bit less sweet, like for Christmas, I did make some desserts with allulose in them. I made a homemade ice cream actually with allulose in it. My mother-in-law was like, oh, I like this. It's not too sweet, because allulose is actually only about 70% as sweet as sugar. But I do a 1-to-1 conversion, so I don't add 1 1/3 of allulose. I just add whatever the sugar is. So it's a little bit less sweet. So, and I would say the same thing for these. If you're looking for an ice cream that isn't as sweet as regular ice cream, I would say give these a try. I think there were a couple more flavors. I went with these ones because I think these each had only 4 grams of net carbs per serving, versus some of the other flavors I think were higher. I think they had a chocolate flavor, and I can't remember what else, but I went with these ones just because they're a little bit lower carb. And like I said, even though I'm not counting my carbs strictly, I do try to watch them and try to keep in, as I go throughout the day, a running total of around 30 net carbs. So I usually end up eating about 70 to 100, depending on the day, 70 to 100 actual carbs. But a lot of that's fiber. So anyway, I've rambled for over half an hour. I'm sorry. And I might have offended some people through my conversation. I know that the whole idea of a keto diet is very frowned upon in a large group of the vegan community. But there is a whole group of high fat, low carb vegans, and they can still do that. They can do a keto diet and be vegan. I don't think they have to be exclusive. So anyway, I have lost 65 pounds almost. Well, yeah, 278 to 213. I've lost 65 pounds in less than a year. I'm still losing. Like I said, my goal is 120 to 125 pounds in about a year and a half. I'm giving myself 18 months to get to that goal. And hopefully I will continue, and hopefully that works. My goal is by summer to be at 175, to be 100 pounds down by 1 year. And I will say that as more weight has dropped off, my weight loss has slowed. So, whereas I was getting several pounds a week that I would lose, now it's maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week that I'm losing. So it's okay. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button, and don't forget the little bell. And if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on just, I don't know, anything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next Omnis Vegan. Bye.